as serious as the moment demands. You know.
Yes. This is if the Romans had had ice cream, they might have greeted their collapse of empire with fish food.
That's right. Russell's got the fish food. He's got the fancy food. He's got the Ben & Jerry's. I went with Breyers. I almost sprung for a Haagen-Dazs, but I just couldn't bring myself to it. It's just too expensive. Like, I can get the Breyers for, like, I got a pint of this for, like, $5.49. And the Haagen-Dazs was, like, no, I didn't get a pint. I got a quart. And the Haagen-Dazs was, like, I don't know, $7.50 for not quite a quart, you know. It's European, so they measure it funny over there. They do things different.
I'm a saint.
They're not sophisticated like that.
I don't have to think about other people when I buy ice cream, so I just buy what I want.
Yeah, Russell's a sink. Exactly. Well, you know, I also got a great deal on these cones. I was telling Russell couldn't believe it. Got a deal on these ice cream cones. They were $2 for 24 cones. They're very small.
Listen, man, I wouldn't even eat something. Like, I'd be like, you know.
It's Keebler.
It's fucking medical waste.
It's Keebler brand. Oh, yeah, it's a name brand. Name brand product. Keebler's a very good product. So
hang on. I thought you said you got Breyers.
No, Breyers ice cream, but Keebler cone. The Keebler brand cone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, these are two name brands. These are two established products.
I haven't had Breyers, man. If I had Breyers now, like, it would bring me back to, like, watching Good Times on a TV with rabbit ears and shake and bake chicken in the kitchen.
You don't like Breyers?
I mean, I haven't. That's the shit I had when I was a little kid. My
Right.
mother would get the big box of Breyers. Yeah, I'd sit on the green shag carpeting and shout on that fucking Breyers.
It says he's going to begin shortly.
Captain.
Let me do this. Audio. Yeah, there we go. We're good. Yeah, I should be able to full screen this. Right? Beautiful.
Yes.
How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you all for being here. We got a couple super chats here.
Got some Southern drawl going.
Yeah, I might have a beer. There's a great beer I have.
Oh, man. I knew some shit like that was going to happen.
Well, you spilled your ice cream? I might.
I dropped the spoon, like, on myself and on the carpet.
Oy.
All right, man. You're going to have to take over.
All right. I might have a beer. I have this great beer from a brewery here.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not even a beer drinker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this Southern drawl shit, very good. I would order that, if I can order it when I get it. All right, let me deal with this before this melts all over the carpet.
All right. Just in time to read. So, yeah, there's this great beer. There's this great brewery around here. It's called Common Roots. It's a little bit north of where I am.
What are you doing?
This double cup coffee stout. They do a 2 kinds of coffee stouts, which, you know, for the winter time, it's great.
You're not getting shit yet, Chiquita.
Spring, I have
it's not time.
Left, and I have
it's not time.
Like I said, I've been feeling queasy lately. I haven't felt like drinking much. And so I don't
hey, fucking shut up, dude. It's not time.
Anyway, because I have to get these.
Well, fucking it's not time. You're not getting shit yet. You don't get peanut butter till after I get dinner. Fuck off.
Platitude. Platypus.
Well, fucking get up in your chair. Quit bitching.
I do. Thank you. Thank you.
Pain in the ass.
Thank you, everybody, very much for being here. If you're here for the follow button as well. The WikiLeaks fan, America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. Ask ice cream man Biden. Yep, that's right. That's right. Apparently, it's been, word is on Twitter that there are some ceasefire protesters blocking the motorcade entranceway. So, you know, I don't know if he's there already or if he was driving over and they were delayed. Obviously, good on whoever's protesting there tonight. So if he's delayed for that reason, that's amazing. I haven't heard any updates. Elizabeth Marshall says, "You look great. Thanks for the laugh." Thanks, Elizabeth. We can all use a laugh on a night like tonight, for sure. And during the State of the Union address, folks, by the way, Rumble rants and super chats will be Rumble heckles and super heckles. So we will display super chats and Rumble rants during the State of the Union. We may not necessarily read them out loud and respond because we'll be watching the speech, but anything that's going to get us kicked off of the airwaves here, we will put up those super chats and Rumble rants as super heckles, and Rumble heckles throughout the address. So that's something to keep in mind if you want your voice heard for a few bucks during the stream. Still waiting on Genocide Joe. Like Russell said, the original dosage of whatever they're shooting him up with before he goes out might not be strong enough to sustain what I'm going to guess would probably be a little over an hour speech. I don't think he's going to go that long. I don't think he can.
Chuckita! God damn it, you're not getting a fucking thing! Leave it the fuck alone!
I think it'll be a 75.
You know that's not yours.
They're gonna put that fucking guy up there.
Bad girl!
Yeah, which is kind of short by State of the Union
Fucker.
standards, isn't it? Usually it's like an hour and a half.
I say 45 tops.
Unfucking real, dude.
He comes out and speaks for a half hour.
Tops. They're gonna put that guy on the stage for over an hour.
Yeah, I think it'll go 75, I guess.
All right, what's the over-under on it?
Where would I put the over-under on the number of minutes in the speech? Yeah, I mean, I'd put the over-under 63 and a half. Because they might just figure an hour. But you know what I mean. So I would put it at 63 and a half and take the over. That's what I'd say.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm saying 45 minutes at the outside.
Oh boy. Where is this guy? Like I was saying, Russell, earlier.
I don't think they have enough preparation age to keep him on a fucking stage for 45 minutes.
Let's see. Justin from Twitter. President Biden is running about 20 minutes behind schedule ahead of his State of the Union speech, as reported by Fox News. It's unclear exactly why Biden is running late, but could be due to the massive pro-Palestine protests blocking the road. Let me go to that. Let me bookmark that on my phone, and let me pull that up live right now. Jake, I'm going to send you... By the way, round of applause for Jake for being here with us tonight. Jake,
that is above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Yes.
To sit through this fucking turn.
Jake, I put the link to the WhiteHouse.gov stream in the private chat. Could you prep that in case we have to cut to it quick? Because I'm going to go to Twitter right now and see if I can get some footage of the protest. Please and thank you, sir. Appreciate you, as always. They're screen share this right now for you folks. Let's see. Share screen. Go. Beautiful. Colin Rugg, just in, Biden's running about 20 minutes late. It's unclear why.
Oh, Biden running late.
But it could be due to the massive pro-Palestine protest.
We are listening to Dissidents.
Road, a massive banner was displayed by the group, which reads, Biden's legacy is genocide. Good for them.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
So they're definitely in the middle of the street, which is amazing.
First Lady Joe Biden says her husband, quote, made a boom boom. And it's going to take a little while to clean it up.
There is precious metal nearby, Captain.
Now, we're sure the podium is, a solid piece. That you can't see under the podium, right? You can't see under it. It's just a solid block of wood. We have to make sure that that's true. So, yes, is running late, presumably, for that reason. Still has the car. See? He went through a lot of...
One of these days, he's going to get another. Hey, you're just going to see shit come tumbling out of the pathway.
They're an easy target now.
Jake, is there audio shared on that tab? I believe there is. I have it now. You can
Right away, Captain.
I'm gonna share my tab too once he gets going here. See, he went to a card. He's a pro. He knows the business. You need some more time? Go to a card. Go to a card. That's how it works. That's how it works in this business, folks. Rory Cumberbatch, every time Biden screws up a word or says anything you can't understand, drink.
Nice
Oh
aim,
boy.
Captain!
That would be a long night. Look, you know, the last State of the Union, remember, he mixed it up with the Republicans a little bit. It's just a matter of, you know, one more year later.
Did we watch that? We didn't.
I don't think we streamed it. Did we stream it last
Fire
night?
away!
To be honest with you. I don't think so.
I don't think I watched it.
Yeah. I don't know why we wouldn't have, but we did last year. Let's go to a couple of Rumble rants here. Jack's Page, I got talked into watching the State of Propaganda speech by my Twitter community. Bring it on. I knew you'd get talked into with Jack Page. Jack Page.
I want these guys silver chests, is what's going
You
on.
weren't doing it, and then a couple of your friends. Here we go. Roy the Goy. Russell, did you ever have an opportunity to catch a late-night Brother Theodore show at the 13th Street Repertory Company Theater? Wow, back in the day. He's one of my favorite heroes.
Wow, I can't even fucking believe you said that, man. All right, so the first place I ever directed in Manhattan was the 13th Street Repertory Theater. I lied about my age. I said I was 27. I was 19. And I got a gig directing, so I knew Brother Theodore when he was doing that show.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah, that's a legendary venue. 35th between 5th and 6th Avenue. One of the first auditions I ever held when I was directing a short film was there. Edith was the lady's name. She lived a very long time.
She died a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, she was over 100.
She lived to be like 103.
Yeah, she was over 100.
I think her daughters are running it now. Her daughter was around then. Her daughter was like a cabaret singer, but I think she wound up becoming the de facto manager of the theater.
Yeah, and that was like a real New York counterculture art scene. Like, that was a great spot. You'd have these real characters.
When I wrote that article and I talked about what the scene was like when I first discovered it, I was largely writing about the 13th Street Rep.
Yeah, no, it's a great spot. My friend was...
No, that's what it was then, man. Dude, I saw Mapplethorpe photos before he was famous.
Oh, wow.
Like, you would go to shows and then you would go to, like, fucking art installations in a basement of an apartment building. It was a different world.
Jake, do we have something going on? Is it starting? I think it is starting. All right, Anthony.
What has it
Jake,
that the
is this
merchant
your
ships
stream
will
that we're
depart
sharing
soon
or mine?
contain?
It's yours that we're sharing, right? It's Jake's. Okay, cool. All right. You got the volume up there, Jake? I mean, you can keep it on yours. That's fine. Actually, you know what? Let me keep it on mine so I can ride the volume. So, Jake, if you want to take yours down. Okay.
A shipwreck! Other Spain can be
All
our
right. How are we on audio there? Can everybody hear that? Tell me in the chat if you can hear that. Jake, let me know if you can hear that.
Ship's over there!
Good. Beautiful.
Captain,
Thank
on
you,
our
sir.
port!
The crowd is filing in. All right, we'll take a few more super chats while we're waiting here. Like I said, super chats will appear on the screen throughout the speech as super heckles, so feel free to give your input on the speech. As long as it's nothing that'll get us thrown off the air, we will display.
They got the old man
Samuel
hopped
Bruce,
up on the
you
good
two
stuff
smoke
right now.
doobie-doo. I
Believe
don't.
that shit.
Don't do that. I probably, that would probably help with, like, my inflammation and my stomach pain. Am I allowed to say that? Is that medical bullshit?
Sure.
Maybe.
The
But,
wind
yeah,
helps our
doesn't
sails.
CBD help with that and THC help with that? I don't know. I heard
Yeah.
that people are saying.
Yeah,
I don't know
they
if
do.
it's true, but I've heard some very smart people say
I
that.
don't know what the laws are here. I saw a place that was like a pot dispensary here. I don't know if it's still only medical. I don't know.
Got $20 on at least 3 interruptions. Well, apparently some of the progressive Congress people have brought Palestinians as guests.
Oh, yeah?
And so hopefully some of them, embarrass the Congress people and stand up and say something. Kinky says, I'm buying the next round for you crazy kids. Thank you, Kinky. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'm the only one drinking. Usually this guy, he drinks like a fish.
I'm going to get one.
It worries me a little bit.
All right, I was
They
talking
will be
about
feeding
the
I
fishes
was
soon
talking about
enough.
this when you were off. All right, I'll be back.
This is, it's like one of those VH1 behind the music situations waiting to happen, where his drinking just gets increasingly out of control, and I try to confront him about it. He goes into rehab, but it just keeps getting worse and worse. And then finally he ends up in prison. Shh, it's coming back. Don't
On fire!
I've got his whole future charted. Hey, what's up, Keith?
This is
They are going
a beer I
downward
got here
soon enough.
from
Now is
Double
the time
Touch
to blow!
Imperial Stout, Imperial Coffee Stout. This is from a wonderful brewery right here in upstate New York. Some local flavor. The coffee stout, great cold weather brew. This is a huge beer. This is 14% alcohol by volume. So one of the that is good. I don't really want to drink, but the thing is, I bought these a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you want to drink? I'm smoking.
It's been really cold.
Listening to President Dookie Drawers. We need to fucking
But we don't have
drink
much
and
winter
smoke
left,
all you can.
So I figure I should probably drink it.
Yeah, what's it? Because
So?
now it's like that nice southern weather. It's like 77 degrees. It's nice and warm, not uncomfortably humid. Just like, Blanche fucking Stella, kind of just a little sweaty and
Lots of people
sensual.
dead in
humid.
that frag, Captain.
Right, exactly, yeah. Yeah,
Thud.
but, in the summertime, it'll be obviously...
I think I'm good now.
Yeah, well, so that was my question. How is it back east? I haven't even
Yeah.
looked.
It's getting warm. Getting warm.
Oh shit, one more out there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Listen, people, fire up your SUVs before I get back. I want it warm over there.
Yeah,
What
right,
is
exactly.
this?
Exactly.
Samba!
It is, like today felt like spring. It was windy, it was cold, but it did have spring in the air. That winter chill is mostly out of the air. Ditch the shades, y'all look like Dark Brandon. That's the point.
Fire now!
Celeste, but thank you very much for the donation. Welcome to the Gapathon, says Steve Wolfbrand. Thank you very
We're on
much
a
for
mission
that.
for God.
Yeah. Hashtag fuck these people, says Torches and Pitchforks. Thank you very much for that. Like I said, folks, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button over on Rumble. Large crowd over here on YouTube. Jake, where were we at viewer-wise over on the Rumble side of things?
Time to win and loot!
At the moment, we got...
Mr. Speaker,
Oh, boy,
President of the United States. I mean, really? Really? You're excited about this guy?
They gotta pretend they're excited. All right, this is gonna take a few minutes. Let me knock some of these out. Number one song for you guys, 2525 Vietnam era song.
You know what? We do get up there, man. No, I know that song.
Yeah,
In the year 2525.
we're almost there. We're past 2112. We have the rush drop. Ozzy Osbourne 2024. Russell's right. My money's on 45 minutes. That's what Samuel Bryce says. No, I think he's going over now.
All right. So we're going by when he starts. So we got to mark the time when he starts.
Yeah, we're marking on. Don't worry.
A brigantine! What is that?
Henry the Shazzo. We're 4 local pre-gaming the address over here. Every Monday equals 1 drink. I shouldn't say equals 2. Get me in trouble equals 3. Send me a wild ride. I think 4 Loco, didn't they ban 4 Loco in New York? I don't know where you are, Henry. Maybe they took it on state by state, but you were not able to get that for a while. It's been a while.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Isn't it like an energy drink? Is that the idea?
Like a sinking stone!
Yeah. It's weird, wild stuff. And I think they banned it.
So it's basically a convenience store speedball.
Yeah, basically. Exactly. BVJ461, vote for me or you ain't illegal. I mean asylums. Okay, thank you. Let's see here. Can we start taking bets on the real number of dead people he'll say he spoke to recently during the disease? Yeah. How many dead world leaders did you meet with last week? You know, look, I'm not against this accessibility thing, but we're gonna have to watch the sign language woman the whole time. Shouldn't that be optional? I feel like that should be optional. If you're hearing impaired and you need the sign language, you should be able to click a screen and she comes on. But we're gonna have to watch her there the whole time.
I think she's probably going to be the best thing up there. We should really make some T-shirts. ASL lady for president.
I mean, she could just be deliberately mistranslating everything he says into something good. We'll know on election night if the exit polls show he's dominating the deaf vote.
She could be signaling her Russian handlers.
Yeah, that's true too. Giovanni Polidari, thanks for the $4.50. Appreciate that very much. Like I said, folks, during the speech, we will display super chats as super heckles and rumble rants.
All right, let's stash
as
this
rumble
shit
heckles.
real quick.
Love you guys. Love the ice cream bit. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Put a lot of work into that.
We had to rehearse it.
Yeah, we had to rehearse it, time it out. Exactly.
No, goddammit, lick first, then look meaningfully at the camera.
Yeah, right. $10, Tony B, thank you. Special report, the diaper is overflowing. Yeah. He was about 20 minutes late, 9:20 already. Jesus Christ. Tavis Gibbons, some media says that Hamas is blocking aid. Well, yeah, that's always what they'll say. Steve Hartline, thanks for the $5. Love the occasional idiom from Russell. I know the other person saying cookie crumbles priceless. I hope to hear more tonight. Mop flops. Thank you, Steve Hartline. Appreciate that. Let's see. We got Rumble Rants coming in. Yeah, that's amazing that Roy the Boy knew the 13th Street rep. That's crazy.
And that you remembered the Brother Theodore show. Jesus. That is back in the day, man.
Spread the sails!
Do they still do line there? Do they keep that going?
I wonder. I don't know. I directed one of their productions that was way back when I got out of college.
My friend did tech direction for a show there. This is the cast of characters that comes in there. This was like, I don't know, 2012. He was doing sound on a show there. I don't know for what reason, but he volunteered for the sound.
I mean, I wonder how they're being impacted, because it really is a fucking dead scene.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
like how has that affected them?
Well, they had the old cast of characters. My friend was doing sound on a show there, where, you know, you play the sound cues and the music cues and the phone ringing and the, you know, buzzer ringing. The guy hands him a tape deck with like 10 audio tapes for the sound cues. This is like 2012. And he's like, what am I supposed to do with these? He said, well, yeah, we have to cue them up. Like, how do you cue up an audio tape? How do you know what second you're playing on an audio tape? It was ridiculous.
I mean, I remember when it was done.
Yeah, but that's a ridiculous thing to have to do in the 21st century.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Oh, look, he's taking selfies. Oh, look, he knows how to take... Look, he did well there. He took a selfie there.
He forgot to hold his arm.
Swim with the fishes!
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Already?
Have you no shame? Have you no dignity?
Maybe they're chanting that so he won't even make a speech. He'll come in here, he'll shake hands, he'll leave. All right. Stay in the union, everybody.
Okay, this is the greatest display of imperial decline since Caligula made his horse a senator.
Yeah. I agree.
Like when you've got a clearly doddering, declining old man, and you, in the interest of party politics,
There he goes.
and being a good
Kiss that
psychopath,
old ass.
are going to go out there, and you've got senators, people in power, chanting 4 more years, 4 more years. I mean, this is one step away from the imperial promise.
Yes.
Right. Okie dokie, bro.
Janice Anderson,
Okie
ginger tea
dokie.
is good for digestive issues. Oh yeah, no, I know all the remedies.
The crazy part I always think about, it's like that guy's got so much money,
Thank
like,
you, though.
and you gotta do
Appreciate that.
this.
Got
You're like
aloe
putting
juice,
yourself
like
through this
straight aloe
bullshit.
juice.
Like, ugh, it's so gross.
So this is an ongoing
Why?
problem
Why wouldn't
you
you
have?
just fuck off and enjoy
Well,
all
it's
the
been
money
an
you've
ongoing
stolen?
problem. Like I told you, I had that very severe stomach
Okay.
infection when I was in college, and I don't feel like my GI system has ever
Politicians,
really
am
fully
I right?
But you know, make do. Victor Popov getting peer pressured into drinking. This is quite good. I mean, this is really a great product. USLVN, Upper San Luis Valley. Thank you for the $20. That's very nice of you. Who are the cult members in the white uniforms? Do they wear those for, is that for suffrage? Right? Didn't a bunch of the women
I'll see some
wear
boob.
that during the Trump State of the Union? They wore white to symbolize their right to vote, which, as we know, Donald Trump took away.
Well, I think these are all the women that he smelled.
All right, here we go, Jack. Listen up, Jack. Listen here, Jack.
There it
Start the
is.
insanity.
Here he is.
And her to speak.
You see him licking Maloney?
He just
Fucking tonguing, he was tonguing her down.
Tony.
I figure there must be at least one person named Tony in the room. If I say Tony, it'll look like I know who's here. Hey, Tony. I bet there's a Chris, too. Hey, Chris. Bill. Gotta be a Bill.
All right.
I hear there's some. Oh, look, Sean Spain is there clapping. Piece of shit.
I stand before you with a clean rectum. I tell you, the White House porter does a wonderful job.
Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now. Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans, in January 1941,
927.
Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation, and he said, I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy
Get
were
moving,
under
you
assault in the
rascal!
world. Tonight,
Ooh,
I
Civil War,
come
huh?
to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either.
This is Jose Vega, by the way.
Not since
Shout out to
President
Jose.
Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march,
Yeah, see, I knew this.
invading Ukraine,
If we took this more
sowing
seriously, I would
chaos
have talked
throughout
about this
Europe
beforehand.
and beyond.
I knew he was going to go big on
If
Ukraine.
anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at
I knew he was going
Ukraine,
to go big on
I
Ukraine.
assure you he will not.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Ukraine,
Fucking bunch of fucking
Ukraine
idiot,
can stop
fucking
It's unbelievable that he would start. I mean,
corrupt jizz rags.
if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons.
this is all they care about, folks.
Boo.
All they care about is Ukraine. They know he's going to lose. They just want the money to Ukraine.
That's it. Get that money, Ukraine. Line the pockets.
That is all.
Line those
That is
pockets.
all Ukraine is asking. They're
Unbelievable.
not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are
That's
no
all they're
American
asking
soldiers in war in
for all
Ukraine.
our
They're not
money.
determined to
That's
keep
all.
it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall."
Oh my God.
Was that?
Now,
Oh,
before or after
let's
he
dig up
sold
and dust off
arms
Ronald Reagan again.
illegally to Iraq?
If we
Jesus.
can't get bombs
Now
into
my
Ukraine from the
predecessor.
ground, we're going to drop them from the air.
former Republican president tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote.
Whatever the hell you
The president
want.
actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Well, they got him on the fucking good shit right now.
It's astounding but not surprising
Fucking
that
thing
when
almost
your
took me
poll
out.
numbers in the toilet because of frustrations over the economy and the border, that you would come out and the first words out of your mouth are about Putin.
That's it, dude. We in America do not matter.
The military alliance of
They're not going to
democratic
They're
nations
going to swap him out of the
created after
convention.
World War II
If they were
to
serious
prevent
about getting his
war.
poll numbers up, you would not start this speech with
Today,
fucking Ukraine.
we've made NATO stronger than
Which is
ever.
nowhere near the top.
Welcome Finland to
Half
the
the
alliance
voters have already
last
turned
year.
this off by now. Nobody wants to hear about Ukraine.
Well,
And
the
just this
idea
morning,
of
Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight.
You're a Rooseveltian figure in a moment of equal weight and import.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Folks, we're going to rise the volume a little bit. I don't know if you can hear us okay over
And
the
they know
sound.
how to fight. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to
Woo,
the
air, baby.
strongest military alliance the world has ever seen.
Man, get me out of this
I say
shit.
this to Congress.
Oh, this is gonna be a
We have to
good one.
stand up to Putin.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Send me a
whoa!
bipartisan national security bill.
It's
History
fucking
is literally
awesome.
watching. History is watching. The United States walks away. It will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk.
This guy's appropriating
Ukraine.
75% because people can't afford
Do it
groceries.
harm.
People are over
My
this
message to
Ukraine
President
thing.
Putin, who I've known
And
for
he
a long time,
starts
is
the
simple.
last major
We
speech
will
before
not walk
the
away.
campaign kicks off with Putin, Ukraine. I'm telling you, they're not going to
Look at these fucking morons.
We will not
Look at
bow
these
down.
fucking
This
idiots.
is politically. This makes zero political sense whatsoever. Zero.
I will
That's
not
why I don't
bow
think they're going to
down.
win. He's trying to get the money for Ukraine now. He's not trying to win the election.
In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching.
I don't
Just
know
like history watched
whether he
2
knows
years
it or
ago on
not. It's
January
true.
6th. When insurrectionists stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you are here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes
Wow.
the insurrectionists were not patriots.
Oh God, now
They've come to stop the peaceful transfer of power.
now you're
to overturn
talking.
the will of the people.
Jesus.
January 6th lied about the 2020 election and the plot to steal the election posed a great
It makes
great
Ronald
threat to
Reagan look
U.S.
like
democracy
Bertrand Russell.
since the Civil War. But they failed.
Company washing inside.
America stood.
We have exactly 5,000 watching, 18 and a half on Rumble.
Look at
31
all
and a half
these
on YouTube. Hit
fucking
that subscribe button, folks. Hit that like button.
idiots applauding that.
I'm sorry. I feel like we lured people into
Must
a
be
trap.
honest.
Ugh,
The threat
it's
to
making me
democracy must
sick.
be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies.
It is.
Here's the simple truth.
This is
You
unbelievable.
can't love your country only when you win.
This is truly unbelievable. Well said, Keaton.
Now, hang on. Don't you represent the party
Inside
whose
joke.
line is basically
Dude, big
the
time, right?
African
You
people
can't
are
like talk
racist.
about projection.
No, right. When the Democrats
Ever
lose,
since
they
being
hate the
elected to
country.
office,
They hate the country.
What's cracking, Dingo? What's cracking?
It's the part of it that didn't vote.
Hope you're having a good night.
defend democracy.
Down.
Remember your oath of office of defending
The
us all.
people
correct?
who voted for me are the dynamic places with the most wealth.
Respect free and fair elections. Restore trust in our institutions. And make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America. Zero place.
That's you lock up anybody who says anything bad about you. What?
It's not.
Oh man.
It's not hyperbole to suggest History is watching. We're watching. Your children and grandchildren
Laughing. I
read
think
about this
they're
day.
probably laughing.
Yep.
History is watching another assault on freedom.
I wanted to watch
Joining
this
us
one.
tonight is Latoya Beasley, social worker in Birmingham, Alabama.
I mean, there's a
14 months
solid
ago,
chance he shits
14
himself.
months ago, she and her husband
Abraham
welcomed a
Lincoln
baby
is
girl
watching.
thanks to
He's
America's
sitting right over
IVF.
there.
She scheduled treatments to have that second child. The Alabama
shooting
Supreme
me.
Court shut down IVF treatments across the state.
Asshole.
Unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v.
Whose
Wade.
coverage are you watching?
She was told her dream would
Due
have to wait.
dissidence.
What her family got through should never have happened. Unless Congress
Yeah,
acts, it could happen
pretty funny.
again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle,
Moderately
don't keep
insightful.
this waiting any longer.
If you give me a second term,
Guarantee the
I
right to
promise I will
IVF.
develop a cure for IVF.
Guarantee it nationwide.
When I first married Jill, she had a little case of IVF, that dirty bitch.
I wanted to know.
Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it right.
Nice.
I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader, defending reproductive freedom, and so much more. Thank you.
This is a little bit bougie, I do
My
admit.
predecessor came to office determined to see Roe
I
v. Wade
mean,
overturned.
He's not
These
going to drink a
reasons
Bud
overturned,
Light. He's
and
got
he
a
brags
family.
about it.
They don't want to go through
Look at
that
the
whole
chaos that has resulted.
transing of the.
Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus with a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future were at risk if she didn't act.
I could barely
Because
understand
Texas
him.
law banned her ability to act. Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well. But it's happening in too many others.
Jesus.
So get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority wrote the following. With all due respect, Justice, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power.
Hey,
You're about to realize just how much we get right about.
Roe v. Wade went down on your watch, you fucking dummy.
Wow.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Really,
Some fine people are waiting to be carried away, Captain.
This is like Roosevelt in his prime. I mean, you can't argue.
no, that was
Clearly.
It's really incredibly inspiring. He doesn't at all sound like he's barely keeping it
They have
together.
no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
He's so consumed by disease and madness that
You need to shut up, chick.
he's
Perversion is sick. It's degenerate and sick.
No.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll
Ukraine,
restore Roe v.
January
Wade as the
6th.
law of the land
Now Roe v.
again.
Wade. Oh, and I swear this time, this time I'll fix Roe v. Wade.
Like you didn't do when you had the chance because you liked
Folks,
the political issue.
America
They like the
cannot go back.
filibuster.
I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward.
If they suspended the
Because I know how
filibuster, they
far
could
we've
have
come.
codified it after the
4
Donald
years ago next week,
They had about
before I
8
came to
months.
office,
Absolutely.
7, 8
the
months.
country was hit.
Yeah, I know Riley Gaines went on Rogan. I want to watch that.
Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus. It took more than 1 million American lives, of loved ones, millions left behind.
What the
The
fuck
mental
are you
health
talking
crisis
about?
of isolation and loneliness. The president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history.
Frolic says the
We
pizza's
have.
on the way.
It doesn't make news, but news in 1,000
Right.
cities and towns, the American people
Yep.
are writing the greatest
Hot
comeback
dogs
story
and pizzas.
never told.
Unreal.
I mean, at least he delivered that line.
Yeah.
So let's tell the story
You
here.
can tell what he said.
Tell it here and now.
Time to read!
America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities. Building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Investing in all Americans. In all Americans. Making sure everyone has a fair shot. We leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccine that saved us from COVID
Oh, no vaccine.
is now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America
Wait a
does.
minute. Wait a minute.
That's what America does.
The jab is fucking saving from cancer?
I know that.
Oh my god, right?
I inherited economy is on the brink.
Lucky
Now
I didn't
our
take that
economy
one
is literally
before
the
Jimmy
envy
got
of the
his
world.
joke in. I would have ruined his
15
bit.
million new jobs in just 3 years. A
The
record.
cancer vax.
A record.
Anyone?
The
Unemployment
cancer vax. Fuck.
at 50-year lows.
Down the soils!
Look.
A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope.
What is
The
he?
historic job growth and small business growth for Black and
Never been
Hispanic and
ordered.
Asian Americans.
He's so
800,000
bad
new
shit.
manufacturing jobs in America and counting. Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will.
Kisses.
More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up, inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world, and tending lower. The landing is and will be soft. And now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs. Right here in America, where they belong.
Is that what-
I'm starting to wonder if I'm the one taking crazy pills.
Right?
It takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it.
Oh, Ralph.
Since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy America. Not anymore. On my watch, federal projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
Okie dokie. Okay, Chief.
Creating good paying American jobs. And thanks to our Chips and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the
Nothing yet.
pandemic, the shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. By the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000.
See the wind from the ship. Face it.
In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America.
Building weapons.
Thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law, 46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, but they're cheering on that money coming out. I like it. I'm with you. I'm with you. If any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit system. Removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without
Flint
brain damage.
still doesn't have fucking pipes. Dude, what are you talking about?
Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities, in red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities. Because of my investment in family farms,
That version is under attack.
Because I invested in families where I was led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know. They're better able to stay in the families of those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative. The great comeback story is Belvedere, Illinois. Home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihood. Hope was fading.
The violent impression.
I was elected to office, and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference.
He's not talking about America at all. He's talking about how great he is and like what he's going to do once again.
Instead of auto factories shutting down,
what he's done. It's all bullshit.
To power those cars, there to say.
We're so fucked.
Yes, there will be. To answer your question, will there be another postal office show? Yes, we will get the band back.
Folks of Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs in the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America.
He's showing his delusions from the past and for the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I've saved. America's going great now. Inflation's down.
President Sean Fain, a great friend and a great
Don't believe your lying eyes.
See, I could write these things. See what a pro I am? I think he's going to shout out.
As the world stopped using the American dollar.
And Don Sims, a third-generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Sean, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line. And today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country. And unions built the middle class.
Trying to get that up. No. I like you guys.
I like you guys. I have to blow smoke up the office.
You know we're good.
I say to the American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America. That's you, the American people. It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is bright. It's because of you. And tonight, we can proudly say, the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Just like you.
They're all worthless and weak.
Oh, there it is. 4 more years. 4 more fucking years.
Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over, and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get along with tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state.
Yeah, no, I like corporations.
Than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation. But I grew up.
I've represented the corporations my entire career.
The senator from MBNA.
That's why I determined to turn things around so the middle class does well. When they do well, the poor go way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
This is epic satire.
For the law that I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit. And I want to. But what to do next? I want to cap the cost of insulin $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone. For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers
Staying
money.
healthy,
We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion.
We know you're going to need insulin because all the diabetes.
Because Medicare will no longer have to pay those exorbitant prices to Big Pharma.
Pfizer and Moderna.
This year, Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market.
Some things are
To
worse
treat
than
everything
death.
from heart disease to arthritis.
Things you never outrun.
It's now time to go further and give
My brain
Medicare the
never
power to
had to learn
negotiate
what
lower
it
prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade.
Over the next decade.
We're making a lot of money, guys.
Scott Markinson.
And they'll still be extremely profitable.
I did.
Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year. Even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Now I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone.
Is that what you want to do, huh, bud?
Folks,
I will hold my breath.
I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but anyone to get in Air Force One with me and fly to Toronto,
We have the best
Berlin,
people.
You're the best
Moscow, excuse me, and even Moscow, probably.
Moscow.
What did you just
And
say?
bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now.
What's in the
Same
world
company,
is that?
same drug, same place. Folks, the Affordable Care Act
I don't
The
even know
old
what the fuck
Obamacare.
he's talking about.
is still a very big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing conditions. Well, my predecessor,
Wow, they've been milking
many in
that
this
progress
chamber,
for,
want
what,
to take
15
the
years now?
prescription drug away by repealing Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen.
They
We
no
stopped
longer
you
send the
50
men and white
times before
homes
we will
to drag
stop
your
you
mentally ill
again.
brother out of the house to a place where you'll never see him again.
In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it.
We put a
Oh, are you?
The enacted tax credit of $800 per person per year reduce health care costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to
You're
make
still
that
gonna
savings
go
permanent.
bankrupt, but you won't be denied.
Yeah, we'll just.
You will bankrupt either way, but we got you covered.
Wow.
To state the obvious, women are more than half our population.
Oh,
The
no.
research
Here
on
we
women's
go,
health
ladies.
has always been
Good point,
underfunded.
P. Walker.
That's
Good
why we're
point.
launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research.
What time did he start?
Led by Jill,
Ooh.
doing an incredible job as First Lady.
And what is it now?
9:53.
Get him in here.
Look, man, I think I'm
Passed
looking
my
pretty
plan
good.
for $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit
I
millions
do
of
not
lives
see
all
this
across
going on
America.
much longer.
I know the cost of housing is so
Look,
important
look.
to you.
It depends on how long he spends
Inflation
on
keeps
Trump.
coming down, mortgage rates
It depends
are
on
coming
how
down
much
as
time he
well.
devotes to
And
Trump.
the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years.
We're on a mission from God.
Mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents.
Since when? Since when?
We've cut red tape
Where have you done
so
this?
builders can get federal financing, which is already helping build
Right.
a record 1.7 million new
Good
housing
point, Russ.
units nationwide. Now pass and build and renovate 2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down.
If they were doing that, they would start with New York.
Remain
And
the
I haven't
strongest
heard
economy
shit.
in the world. We need to have the best education system in the world. And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to free school for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year that children coming from broken homes where there's no books, they're not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is.
Brandon Smith's kids game.
Dude. Saw something on Twitter today.
A year and a half ago, to the leaders of the Business Roundtable, they were mad that I was angry. They were disgusted.
Kid slipping him a vial, looked like blood. Or adrenal crumb is what the thing said. It was who knows what's real.
182 of those folks. Don't hold me to the exact number. And I asked them what they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience both sides now. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me, providing you the opportunity to be the best educated workforce in the world?
Cut too hard.
And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high-quality tutoring and summer learning to see that every child learns to read by 3rd grade.
Maybe that's what it takes to lead a human.
I'm also connecting local businesses in high schools so students get hands-on experience and a path to good-paying job, whether or not they go to college.
Oh, yeah, let's put you to work early.
College is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including Hispanic institutions.
The check is in the mail. I believe that children are the future.
When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans.
Oh, I did all this.
60 student loan programs that already existed.
I fixed 2 of them,
Reduced
2
the burden of
programs.
student debt.
That's what I did.
Nearly 4 million Americans, including
Did you?
nurses, firefighters,
Did you?
and others in public service.
Did you? Huh.
Like Keenan Jones, a public
Not what I
educator
hear.
in Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan,
They had to
where are
resume
you?
payments, didn't they?
Keenan, thank you. He's educating hundreds of students so they can go to college.
I think he's going to be a
Now
75
he's
minute.
able to help after debt forgiveness get his own daughter to college.
I think he's going to go on a long thing about Trump.
Where is it now?
Oh, he's coming.
31.
And folks, look,
T-burger.
I don't know, man.
such
He's
relief is
fading.
good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want you public school teachers a raise. By the way, the first couple years we
Oh, you suck, bitch.
Now, let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion. I signed the bipartisan deal. Cut another $1 trillion in the next sector. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share. Look, I'm a capitalist. You want to make or can make a million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes. A fair tax code is how we invest things and make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal. The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut. Overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%, the very wealthy, the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit. They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history.
Pretty fucking boring now. Hit a real boring
Check the
stretch.
numbers.
It started off
Folks
fun
at home, does anybody really think the tax code is
January
fair?
6th.
Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody is earning less than $400,000.
And Obama pulled this shit too, man. You've been in office for 4 years.
And they haven't
You
yet.
haven't done any of this. You haven't even tried to do most of what you're talking about.
And you had the majority. It's not like you didn't have the
Child
majority.
tax credit
Right.
passed during the
So why didn't
pandemic
you do
cut
it
taxes
before?
for millions
This
of
was
working
your
families
agenda.
and cut child poverty in half. Restore that child tax credit.
And nobody's
No
watching anyway.
child should
When
go
you start
hungry in
off
this
a
country.
speech with Ukraine, I
The
think
way
a
to
lot of
make
people
the tax
turned it off.
code fair is to make big corporations and very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Can you imagine who would be watching this if they
Remember in
weren't watching it with
2020,
us?
55.
Maybe this is the total
biggest
ratings
companies in
for
America
the State of the
paid
Union.
$40 billion.
Our
Paid
audience.
zero in federal income tax. Zero.
Who would watch this?
Not anymore. Thanks to the law,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't even think I watched it last year.
50%.
In fact, I don't know if I've ever watched one of his State of
And
the
working
Union.
people paying federal taxes.
Maybe the first one.
Trying to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%.
I think I watched it on 1.5 speed so we could talk about it intelligently. You probably just faked your way through it.
So every big corporation finally
Yeah, that's what I.
begins to pay their
90%
fair
of the
share.
stories we cover, I'm hearing for the first time.
Also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million that could be deducted. They can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires?
Trust no one, Captain,
No.
except me.
That's
They're making
negative.
great sacrifices, 8.2%.
Bullshit.
That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire
Before
should pay a
write-off,
lower federal
before.
tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
I mean, they've been saying this my whole life.
You know, I'm for good things. I'm against bad things. You've been in office for 4 years. You haven't done dick about the
I
tax code.
propose
I haven't even heard him
minimum tax
talk
for
about this.
billionaires at 25%, just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America.
Imagine what they could do
Imagine
for
the
Ukraine.
future
I mean, America.
with affordable child care. Millions of families can get, they need
I mean,
to go to work
just
to help
stop
grow the
sending money to
economy.
Ukraine, we could get
Imagine the future
500
with paid
billion.
leave.
Yeah.
Because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family member.
Cut off
Imagine-
Israel, cut off Ukraine. We
Imagine
have
the
that
future of
money
home
right.
care and elder
That's
care.
happening right there.
And people living with disabilities so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you.
You already did it. They just raised it. What are you talking about?
The working people
It's like the time I was detained
people
trying to
built this
see
country.
John Brown.
pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do.
It's just so.
It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh, no? You guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion to the super wealth. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their
You're
fair
supposed
share.
to stand up and give him a big applause when the Republicans pick on him and he hits back.
I think they were just stunned by it. They're like, that was almost lucid.
Yeah.
Oh, no, see, they got there. They got there.
Charging more and more for less and
Everyone
less.
on deck to battle
That's why we're cracking
station.
down on corporations engaged in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag.
You know, he's right about that. They do put less corn chips in the bag. I've noticed that myself.
There's a fat motherfucking country. Believe me, they notice.
I really mean it.
If I were president, they would never get away with that. They'd never be doing that under me.
Nope.
It would never happen.
Under me, you get, you know, when they do the promotional bag where you get 25% more Doritos,
Probably
that's all that they would
that
sell.
commercial
It would
on
all be promotional
Snickers
bags
bar.
under me.
I'd walk into Frito-Lay, I say, listen, motherfuckers, there's going to be minimum 55 Fritos in every bag. And you know what they would say? Yes, sir, thank you for coming.
Those
And
hidden
they'd
fees.
put a couple cases in the back of my
At the end of the bill, they're there without your knowledge.
for my trouble.
Biden administration announced
Both
they're cutting
Cool
credit card
Ranch
late
and
fees from
spicy
$32
jalapeno.
to
Oh, I need to fire up a bowl on this shit. Or another bowl.
Banks and credit card companies.
The winds
Oh,
are
yeah,
right.
he's made a
charge
career
for the
of
cost of that
holding
to
their feet to the fire.
instigate the collection. And that's more a hell of a lot like $8 and 30 some dollars. They don't like it. Credit card companies don't like it. And I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating. Folks at home, that's why the banks are so mad. It's $20 billion in profit. I'm not stopping there.
Since when are the banks mad?
My administration has proposed rules to make cable,
What banks
travel,
are mad?
utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front,
Yeah, they don't see it, man.
so there are no surprises.
You see a lot of banks lining up to defeat Joe Biden.
And so does this. In November, my team began a serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators.
I cannot wait to
The result
report
was a
of your
bipartisan
success.
bill with the toughest set of border security reforms
Gonna sit
we've
back
ever
and
seen.
let the pest have run of the seas.
Oh, you don't think so?
Down his knuckles. And we'll soon have the bastard
Oh, you
right
don't
where
like
we want.
that bill, huh? That conservatives got together
Oh,
and said it was a
you've
good
pissed
bill?
off then.
I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration
Great
judges to
trust
help
begets
tackle the
great
backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
See, this is like
What
a
are you
thing, like,
against?
they heckle them. This is why I said some of the Palestine people who were there. They should
100
heckle
more
Does no one know
high-tech
how
drug
strong
detection
Joe's on
machines.
It's like not
Significantly
really
increased
Right?
ability to screen and
You heard
stop
about the
vehicles
300,000 they flew up, right?
in America.
300 plus thousand.
Thousands of children.
Nobody can hear exactly what they're saying.
I
This
just
is
go
the
back.
same
What's that,
lies.
Senator Ted Cruz? You're gay?
Bring order to the
I don't know
border.
that.
You also give me
Do
and
you
then the
think
new
they're just
president
not? He's just not
new
going to
emergency
mention
authority
Palestine.
temporarily
No,
shut
don't
down the
mention.
border, and the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol
Here we
Union has
go,
endorsed
border.
this bill.
He's got 4
The
minutes.
Federal Chamber of Commerce is yeah. You say it low. Look at the facts. I know. I know you know how to read. I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well. The majority right now.
Russell's going to
But
cut the stream in
unfortunately,
3 minutes so that
politics
he
has
can claim victory.
derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called
Well,
members of Congress.
what's
and the
yours?
Senate
Hour
to demand
15?
They blocked the bill.
Hour 15.
He feels political win. He viewed it as will be a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really.
What is he?
What's he doing?
Lincoln Riley.
He's right
an innocent
there.
young woman who was killed
Constitution says military
by
is
an
responsible
illegal.
for border security.
That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals?
What?
To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
Oh my God.
But look,
What the fuck
if we
was that?
change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and
That
let
wasn't
into the
handled
country,
very well.
it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing, and it's worth taking the chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6 months, 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks, I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
What did he say?
The fuck?
What about all the thousands of illegals who kill people? What?
And if my predecessor is watching, instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what he apparently here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. And so much more. But unlike my predecessor, I know who we are as Americans. We're the only nation in the world with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans for thousands of years. Home to people of every place, from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution. To chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere, but we're all Americans.
Thank you and good night.
Oh, right. So just open the border up. We're all Americans, huh? We all come from somewhere.
You had an opportunity there.
Look, folks.
I think the longer this goes on, the more they're going to regret going over that 45.
About fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it.
300,000.
Bill now.
They flew up because they didn't want the border to get overcrowded, so they started flying them up directly from Venezuela. They flew 300,000
Selma, Alabama.
up from fucking
Hundreds
Mexico.
of foot soldiers for justice
And fucking,
across the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
Do you believe that
named
shit?
after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. To claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten. They were bloody and left for dead.
There's
Our late
my
friend and former
favourite
colleague,
skipper.
John Lewis, was on
What
that
can I do
march.
you for?
We miss him.
Can't use vulgar words in a scrap. Top up your ammo, Skip.
Yeah, he got his mind right before the end there.
Joining us tonight, our other
My best
marchers,
client has
both in the
returned.
gallery and on the
Do you need
floor,
more storage space?
including Betty Mae Pike,
You're
known
running
as
out
the
of
voice
storage.
of Selma, the daughter of gospel singers and preachers. She sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's true, and
I'd like to celebrate.
also the bipartisan
When's a job?
bill that they passed reset corporate
But
taxes at
59 years
28%,
later,
which is lower than they.
Of course,
I haven't heard him say shit about taxes.
Voter suppression.
Not since the last time
Election
he was
subversion.
campaigning.
Unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here. But if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes that marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act, the John Lewis Voting Right Act. And stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong. Instead of erasing history, let's make history. I want to protect fundamental rights.
A trans with a Schmendrick swinging it in a girl's bathroom.
And my message to transgender Americans is, I have your back.
There he goes.
Pass the PRO Act for workers' rights.
One of the Republicans should have
Raise
brought
the
Michael
federal
Savage.
minimum wage. Because every worker has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it. I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't.
That's pretty sweet.
I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world.
Above the
I'm cutting
North
our carbon emissions in half by 2030. Creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs like the IBW workers building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Conserving 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice, fence line communities smothered by the legacy of pollution.
You deserve 725.
Pattern after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade.
In a decade?
To state the obvious, all Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office. The year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then.
Oh, somebody's getting them.
Through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add, we made the largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate showed the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention.
I'm so wasted.
Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. Keep building trust, as I've been doing by taking executive action on police reform and calling for it to be the law of the land. Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or having on their record. Take on crimes of domestic violence. I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when I was a senator, so we can finally end the scourge against women in America. There are other kinds of violence I want to stop.
Exactly.
With us tonight is Jasmine.
All right, let's go to a
9-year-old
card.
sister Jackie was murdered.
We'll be back.
21 classmates and
I will
teachers in
put an
elementary school
end
in
to the violence
Uvalde,
of
Texas.
explosive diarrhea.
Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it. Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
Here we go.
Yes, universal background checks.
Again, more stuff.
None of this.
I mean, I've literally heard this my
None
entire
of
life.
this. I taught the Second Amendment for 12 years.
It's
None of
most
this
state of the
violates the Second
unions
Amendment.
were for good
Or
things.
vilify
Right,
responsible gun owners. You know, as we manage challenges at home, we're also managing
he's
crises
just
abroad,
lying
including
about
the
what
Middle
they're
East.
doing.
All right, let's hear it. Now comes
I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people.
Fucking 3 years.
Palestinian people.
Yeah, exactly.
So many here in
Like,
America.
you
This
just.
crisis began on October 7th.
Is Santa's wish list?
The massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys,
Even
slaughtered
in California.
after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
Oh, here we go.
And 250
October
hostages
7th,
taken.
June 9/11.
Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families
should say
that will not
Zionist
rest until we
9/11,
bring
because it
everyone of your
was.
loved ones home.
There's distinction.
We also
They've already been offered back. You can't get Netanyahu under control because you don't care. They've already been offered back. Even the people in Israel understand
will also
this. They're
work
protesting Netanyahu for
around the
this reason.
clock
Right. Well,
to
they
bring home
didn't even
Evan
come
and
to
all
Egypt,
Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians
the Israelis
and others
the
around the world.
negotiations.
Israel has
First,
the
they
right to
weren't going
rep
to go
Hamas.
because they wanted
Exactly.
to list
Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible.
Wasn't the deal a 4.5
Israel
month
has a-
ceasefire and you get all the hostages back? You
Excuse
just
me,
can't
Israel
keep
has
bombing.
a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though,
So, what
to
gave
protect
Bush the
innocent
right to
civilians
give
in
away
Gaza.
someone else's country again?
Yeah, hypocrisy knows no bounds.
See, Mike Johnson gave him a clap there, but not a slam.
Has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000
That's the squad for you there.
Palestinians have been
They'll
killed.
hold up a cardboard sign
Most
saying
of
stop
whom
bombing
are not
Gaza,
Hamas.
right? Is that what it said there?
Thousands and
But they
thousands
won't
of
interrupt the
women
speech.
and children,
They
girls
hold
and
up a little
boys,
cardboard sign.
also orphans. Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruins. Families without food, water, medicine.
Did you see
Heartbreaking.
the music play over Matt Taibai
I've been working
talking about
non-stop to
CIA
establish an
director?
immediate ceasefire that will last
Right.
for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released. To get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission
There you go, Jose.
to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean and the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments
Bring
carrying
Russell,
food,
Your Honor.
water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. troops will be on the ground. The temporary pier will enable a massive increase in the amount of humanitarian assistance getting into Gaza every day. And Israel must do its part. Israel must allow more aid in the Gaza and ensure humanitarian workers aren't caught in the crossfire.
We love our Rumble people.
They're announcing they're going to have a crossing in
They
northern
always
Gaza.
do. Like, do they hire them out of the air?
Humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is
Jesus, look at all this shit going down.
And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel. My entire career, no one has a stronger record of Israel than I do. I challenge any of you. I'm the only American president that visited Israel in wartime. There is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees that Palestinians can live in peace and dignity. There's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, whom I'm talking about.
The other path is that Israel grants them equal rights under one state.
By Iran. That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping, the freedom of navigation in the Red Sea.
I mean, that's technically possible.
What's up, Brando?
Politically impossible because Israel won't do it.
As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people on the military front.
Oh, if we just stop funding Israel, Palestinians will take that matter into their own hands.
For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America's falling behind.
Never mind.
They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down to the lowest point in over a decade. And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices. We're standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership in the Pacific.
China.
India, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technology can't be used in China, not allowing the trade to move. Frankly, all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that. I want competition with China, not conflict. And we're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills. There's more past my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh? Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online. Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril. Ban AI voice impersonations and more. And keep our truly sacred obligation.
What the
Train and
fuck?
equip
Why
those
am I
we send
going
into harm's
like
way.
this, fuckers?
And care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't.
The CPU is enrolled in the process of running computer.
That's why the song Support and Help of Dennis, the DA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come. Remind us that we can do big things, like end cancer as we know it, and we will. Let me close with this. Yay!
All right, let's see. He's at 63 minutes now.
I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things. I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while.
Well, you nailed the
When you get to
over-under.
be my age, certain things
Yes,
become
I
clearer
put
than
the
ever.
over 63 and a half.
I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation.
Oh, good
Between
God.
those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America to the future.
It's
My
literally been
lifetime has
63
taught me to
minutes
embrace freedom and
Can't expect
democracy.
to reach greatness
A future
unless
based
you
on
get
core
to reach it
values
all.
that have defined
Let's
America.
test it once.
Honesty, decency,
Hold on.
dignity, equality.
Do I not
To respect everyone.
Jesus.
To give everyone a fair shot. To give hate no safe harbor. Now other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution. That's not me. I was born amid World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Claymont, Delaware, among working class.
So did
people
Russia.
who
You literally
built
spent your
this
life race baiting and working.
I watched
Come to
in
find
horror
out.
as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated. And their legacy that inspired me to pursue a career in service.
Oh, he's not going to whine again about being a civil rights activist?
My city, Wilmington, was the only city in America
It's now or never for victory
after
and
Dr. King
spoil.
was assassinated because of the riot. I became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president of the first black president. Now president to the first women's vice president. In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they didn't let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. It's not a joke. I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea
Money.
of America that we're all
Power.
created equal, deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic.
The dream. America, the dream.
My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation
They say 4 more years?
isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas.
4 more years.
Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas. It only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibility. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away.
Oh, I can't wait for the analysis after this. They're going to be
It's hoping
vicious.
to be
I see
AI.
a
He may have
future.
not been able to get there because of the protesters.
Where the middle class finally has a fair shot, and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes.
Ah, fuck it. Just let the robot do it
I
again.
see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence.
66.
There is no Trump section.
I see a future for all
Like if he's
Americans.
wrapping up, he's not doing
No,
I
he's not
see
going
a
to go.
country
He's not
for
gonna
all
go about
Americans.
Trump.
And I will always be president for all Americans. Because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now.
Yeah, you're
So
a
let's
parasite
build the
just
future
sucking
together.
blood
Let's
off us.
remember
The
who we
union is
are.
apparently the
We are the
delusions of an
United
old
States
man
of
who's
America.
lost touch with reality.
And there is nothing
So it would seem.
beyond our capacity
So
when we act together.
it would seem.
God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
67 minutes. 68
All right.
minutes.
Well, it was closer to your call.
I really nailed that over under. I really did. That was good. That was well done on my part. Vaquero Supreme, thanks for the $5. Creepy Joe is the perfect mascot for this turd smelling the drain called the American Empire. Yeah, it's funny that super chat just happened to come up right there. You could tell when he gets going like that, towards the end there, when he has those big moments talking about, the American ideal, right? He tries to channel Reagan in those moments. And you're right. Like, it is very, very fitting that at this stage in our empire, he is the guy leading us. Because no one makes it sound worse than him. Like, no one makes it sound less convincing than he does. It's a perfect sensory metaphor for everything. Just the visual, the sound, matching up to the reality of the moment, for sure.
If you put in a novel where you were trying to illustrate a sclerotic, declining, decrepit empire, and you wrote a president who was in clear confident decline,
what's up, bud?
Everyone would say it was trite and too on the nose.
Hey, they are taking all those resources.
Here we are.
That would be nothing.
You have a president that is like a walking literary metaphor for the state of the nation.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Exactly.
Brutal.
Ryan Laverty, the
Brutal. We're listening. Just got done with the president's bullshit, and now we're listening to Do Dissonance Boys eviscerate him.
Mets got packed, but lost billions.
Nice. I'm getting stoned.
Thank you for that donation.
I've been smoking straight through that shit show.
Thank you all for the super heckles and rubble heckles. That's very kind of you.
Man.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
guys are very generous. No more.
A lesson in gaslighting.
Make it stop. Well, it finally did stop. I mean, that
so when did it come in at 67?
True lesson in gaslighting.
Yep. So 67 and a half, we'll call it. Yeah, that was an extremely boring speech. I mean, an extremely boring speech. The only part that was really noteworthy, I think, was the first part.
Didn't help me at all.
Like if we pre-gamed for real, although our ice cream bit was probably better than whatever.
Yeah, truly.
We talk about if we took it seriously, right? I think the chat agrees with that. I think the chat is down with that.
Ice cream and beer.
Ice cream and beer. That's right. Beer and ice cream. It would actually be fucking killer.
What Tucker do? A fucking Salisbury steak over there?
It's a real skill to bullshit for the long.
A hungry man mashed potatoes eating contest. What would actually have been beautiful, and actually I could do this, not tonight, but this is the I'll model the can. This is the Double Cup Imperial Stout, 14% alcohol by volume, made in the great town of Glens Falls, New York, which is just north of where I live. So a local product.
I know Glens Falls.
An Imperial Stout infused with Common Roots Coffee Company's house roasted blends. So it's like a coffee infused stout. Think about this. Think about a coffee stout float. Some vanilla ice cream in a mug. Some of this in there. That's for next time.
Well, I like this Southern Draw.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Southern Draw. It's very good.
What is that? That's just a lager, just a regular old beer?
Yeah, it's brewed, I think, in Baton Rouge.
Nice.
Going here.
Nice. Yeah. No.
And I gotta say, being in New Orleans at the time that he's making this speech, he's going on about the state of the country. I'm in a city that's in a most of it is like third world conditions. I'm in a nice part of town here.
Yeah, dude.
And
almost everywhere in every city.
Fucked up and broken up and just decaying. It's not as bad as it is in the really poor neighborhoods, but it's falling apart over here. And a lot of the country is worse. At least this has this tourist industry where there's money coming in, and it still looks like the fucking third world in a lot of this city. What's it like? I haven't been over there. I mean, I know from talking to Tusker and talking to Alan what it's like in a lot of the other parts of the South that don't have all these tourist dollars coming in. Mississippi, Arkansas,
10 seconds out from
right,
Tucker
exactly.
Carlson's
Alabama,
response.
these places.
Decimated. Yeah. Axel is a good point from our member.
Oh,
Axel,
shit.
one of the OG Disney reporters.
Let me see
Thanks
if I
for tuning in, my friend. 67 minutes is pretty damn short. Yeah, by State of the Union standards, it wasn't as short as Russ thought it would be, but it was still pretty short by State of the Union.
They
standards.
still
They
clearly
go
said, all right, what's the limit?
Right.
What's the limit on how long we can put him out before something catastrophic happens?
On Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And they usually go about an hour and a half, so this was short relative to most. I just caught this one. This is not a super chat, but I caught.
What do you think, Chad? You want to hit fucking Rumble? I'm down to hear what Tucker has to say. You know what these guys have said.
IPAs.
Sorta.
Indeed. Thank you, Jenny. But yeah, look, the only noteworthy part of it was the top, where he started with Ukraine, because that seems to be the prime objective of the White House now. And this is why I'm telling you, like, he didn't go after Trump there, and I understand, they like to do this bullshit thing where they take the high road. You're polling 38%. I mean, your favorability number is sub 40%, according to a lot of these polls now. You're losing in almost every poll out there. This is your last State of the Union before the vote. I mean, even though the vote is still 8 months away, like, if you're not going to go after him there, I mean, it all signals to me they're going to swap him out. I think that more and more. Give me a
second. I'm
like, why would you lead with Ukraine? Why would you lead with Ukraine? Right? Look,
I remember the bubble these people live in.
What's that? Well, yes.
Remember the bubble they live in.
From a campaign standpoint, like, we get the YouTube analytics for the live streams. You know what the retention rate looks like? You have a lot of people watch it at the beginning, obviously. That's where they start. And then it dips off, right? And, now we're getting, thanks to, people hanging around. We have a great live audiences now. Right, thank you all for being here. But you see the viewership kind of...
See if this works. Rumble I have a little bit more difficulty with. Well, because Rumble isn't as good as YouTube, unfortunately. Alright, so let's zip up here. Let's go right here. See, I'm having trouble even getting it loaded up right now. Tucker might not.
Nashukuru.
That's pretty sweet.
Having trouble getting the Rumble version to play, but X is working.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I have X on my phone. I mean, it's going to sound probably worse. Let's see. Yeah, fucking, his shit is just not, I see the chat going. You got 52,000 watching on Rumble, goddamn.
Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond.
Can you hear that?
If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. But Ukraine can stop Putin.
Rumble is left from traffic.
Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine.
See you soon, Captain.
And provide the weapons that needs to
No,
defend itself.
absolutely not.
I'm here.
My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down. I will not bow down.
I bet you won't. Unless it's a corporate.
This is crazy talk.
The well of work
There's no explanation of what the goal is here. There's lie after lie. Ukraine can stop Russia. No, it can't. This has gone on for over 2 years. NATO is stronger than ever. No, it's not. NATO is on its way to collapse, as is the economy of Western Europe. For not one sentence did Joe Biden explain what the goal of this exercise is, when we'll know we've won, and what the future should look like. Again, it was crazy talk. And yet, Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, nodded gravely. Oh, of course, he is completely on board with Joe Biden on this Biden's signature issue. And that's not a guess. As of this afternoon, Mike Johnson is secretly supporting Biden's agenda, sending another $60 billion to the oligarchs in Ukraine. Johnson plans to let Democrats onto the floor of the House to vote for this. This is a stealthy procedural move designed to shield him and other Republicans from criticism. Oh, the Democrats did it. But that's exactly what it is. He's the Speaker of the House. He can stop it, but he won't, because he's on board. So why is he on board? Is Mike Johnson representing his own voters as he backs Joe Biden's signature agenda item, a war against Russia? No, he's not. Republican voters in Louisiana are not for this. Republican voters nationally are not for this. They hate this. It has nothing to do with them. And it's insulting. As their country is invaded, we send billions to prevent the invasion of another country that we have nothing to do with? But the Uniparty demands this, so Mike Johnson is doing it. And so at some point you ask, well, why are they demanding this, actually? Why is war with Russia the most important thing? If you look at the numbers or a map, it wouldn't be obvious that Russia would be America's main enemy. There are other candidates. Could it be because Russia is the largest white Christian country in the world? Maybe. Could it be because they're getting rich from war? Well, that's certainly true. There may be other reasons as well. We could guess. But we don't need to, because we know that it's happening, and we know that war against Russia is not the only war we're going to be engaged in, and not the only one that Biden announced tonight. Biden also told the country that we're going to have boots on the ground in Gaza. Really? Or admitted it, in fact. American forces have actually been there for months. Did you know that? Did anyone ask you? Has anyone explained to you, no matter where your sympathies lie, what the point of this is, when we'll know we've won? What's the objective here? American lives will be at risk, but of course no one's told you. And of course, you already know the point. The point is to suck the United States into another foreign war that can't possibly help the United States, or that can only hurt us, and already is hurting us. And we're doing this not because it helps us, but because foreign interests are demanding that we do it. America is being used, as we so often have been. And the result of all of this is that the world is now closer to nuclear war at this moment than at any time in history, closer than it was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. We have no idea where this is going. We never do once people start to die, once wars begin. No PowerPoint can tell you, no speech to a joint session. Either side. You think Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, has any clue what will happen in a war with Russia?
Hope to challenge la peste.
You can't say where this is going. This is so reckless that it qualifies as suicidal. And maybe they are. But the rest of us aren't.
She's running!
But the most interesting fact of the speech was the emphasis. There was not a meaningful word for the entire duration about the things that actually matter to people who live here, like crime or inflation or fentanyl or the foreign army now occupying our country. Joe Biden doesn't care. There was no upside for you in any of the things that he said. He does have a present for you. He's got something to give you, something you want very badly. Here it is.
Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following.
Yeah, what's up, Mr. Penguin?
Justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you get right. Clearly, those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
Oh, well, you can't have a safe, clean country, or groceries you can afford, or schools that will educate your children. But you can't have abortion. You can have a lot more abortion. How's about some more abortion for you? That'll make you happy and free. You can have all the abortions you want. But of course, you can't have all the abortions you want. Abortion is one thing, maybe pretty easy to get in this country. Compare getting an abortion to getting an affordable new roof or a knee replacement. No. Abortion is everywhere. It's very easy to get. And it's...
Your blood will flow, our dad!
Of course. Perfect. Roof. But what's interesting is why.
Be sure to like,
services government could guarantee why
if you haven't yet,
at a time
helps
when
out a little
fertility
shit
rates
flower
of
like me grow.
actual Americans are below replacement, Biden and his party are encouraging Americans to have fewer children. Now, if you have a handheld calculator, do the math on that. That's the path to extinction. Why would they want that? You're the leader of a country. Why would you want your people to have fewer children? You should ponder that. But let's say you're too old to have an abortion. Let's say it doesn't actually apply to you, this wonderful freedom that will make you happy. What can you do to guarantee that you will have no descendants? Well, you can always castrate your children and end your lineage. No more grandchildren. And Joe Biden wants to help.
I want to protect fundamental rights. Pass the Equality Act. My message is transgender America. I have your back.
Oh, trans children, I have your back. That's not creepy. But that's what he's offering. Abortion, war, castration of children. Not better roads and schools, cheaper electricity and food. No, abortion and war. Who wants all that? I mean, some tiny percentage of CNN contributors think those are the most important things.
I'm probably gonna
But most people would
I had a
rather have
margarita
cheaper
and I'm
electricity,
feeling it low.
cheaper food, better roads. And so what this means is that
Yeah, the old margarita, bro. I knew that
is
one was
a
one of my
dire
specialties.
political reality. Joe Biden can't win. In a fair election, Joe Biden will lose in November. He cannot win. That's the thing that nobody in any media wants to say out loud. In a fair election, Joe Biden cannot win. So they're saying the opposite. Here, for example, is the pre-game analysis over at MSNBC, which we watch while waiting for Biden to dodder up to the stage, putting amphetamines.
Oh shit, I'm gonna move
and keep in
up.
mind, as you watch this analysis, these are supposedly the smart kids. These are the smart kids, the ones with complicated classes. These are the ones the White House looks to for guidance. And here's their analysis of Joe Biden's skills. Watch this.
This seems like a weirdly, counterintuitive hot take, even though it's the most obvious thing you could say, which is that Joe Biden is good at politics. Yes. Like, Joe Biden is good at politics. He's very good at politics. Like, the man really does know what he's doing, and you really see it in those sort of certain situations.
Joe Biden is just really good at politics. It's the one thing he's really good at. Really? If Joe Biden is so good at politics, why is he losing to Donald Trump, who the rest of us were assured was a retarded racist, who no normal person would vote for? But now Joe Biden is getting stomped by Donald Trump, but he's also at the same time good at politics? Right. Chris Hayes, ladies and gentlemen, the most famous lesbian in television. So, again, they can't win, but they're not giving up. So what does that tell you? Well, they're going to steal the election. And we know they're going to steal the election because they're now saying so out loud.
Oh shit.
Here is the Attorney General of the United States, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of this country in Selma, Alabama, just the other day. Listen to this.
The right to vote is still under attack. And that is why the Justice Department is fighting back. That is why one of the first things I did when I came into office was to double the size of the voting section of the Civil Rights Division. That is why we are challenging efforts by states and jurisdictions to implement discriminatory, burdensome, and unnecessary restrictions on access to the ballot, including those related to mail-in voting, the use of drop boxes, and voter ID requirements. That is why we are working to block the adoption of discriminatory redistricting plans that dilute the vote of black voters and other voters of color.
Did you catch that? Of course, you're a racist. That's always the takeaway. But consider the details of what the Attorney General of the United States just said. Mail-in balloting, drop boxes, voter ID requirements. The Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States government is telling you that it's immoral, in fact racist, in fact illegal, to ask people for their IDs when they vote to verify they are who they say they are.
His most enthusiastic
What is that?
Moment and all you say
Well,
is,
no one ever talks about this, but the justification for it is that somehow people of color, black people, don't have state-issued IDs. Somehow they're living in a country where you can do virtually nothing without proving your identity with a government-issued ID without government-issued IDs. So they can't fly on planes, they can't have checking accounts, they can't have any interaction with the government, state, local, or federal. They can't stay in hotels. They can't have credit cards. Because someone without a state-issued ID can't do any of those things. But what's so interesting is these same people, very much including the
adjust all the stuff in here to pick up the legendary loot.
Cash.
Clean these assholes out.
Society. Have you been to a stadium event recently? No cash accepted. You have to have a credit card. In order to get a credit card, you need a state-issued ID. And somehow, that's not racist. It is racist to ask people to prove their identity when they choose the next president of the United States. So that doesn't make any sense at all. That's a lie. It's a lie. And anyone telling that lie is advocating for mass voter fraud, which the Attorney General is. There's no other way to read it. So you should know that. You live in a country where the Attorney General is abetting, in fact, calling for voter fraud. And that's the only chance they have to get their guy reelected. Well, for a cooler, more measured take, we suspect, on what we just saw, we want to know, we are grateful to go to Victor Davis Hands, who's a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution, and he joins us now. Professor, thank you very much for coming on. I want to start right at the outset, and I saved this sound for your analysis, because I think it'll be smarter than mine, of the signature moment of the night, which was Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia confronting Joe Biden as he spoke, and here's what happened next.
I'd be a winner, not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed
a lot of loot out here.
by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
So what did you make of that? What does that mean, do you think?
Well, to freeze up, yep.
I stumble, but he only isn't coherent when he's full of...
All right. Come on, Tucky 2. I want to hear what you got to say.
He's on schedule if he were to be reelected to run up $15 trillion. We're borrowing, I should say, or printing $1 trillion every 100 days under him. We've never seen anything like it. $7 trillion, and yet he says he's lowered the debt, our deficit. Same thing about the border. I mean, that was I know that Mitch McConnell made a fatal blunder by even negotiating with these guys, and that was the whole purpose of the Democratic negotiation, was the speech where they could say, well, they didn't sign on, but there's no need for laws, there's no need for more money. All Joe Biden had to do was just keep the policies in place. He had 100 executive orders to overturn everything. He let in almost 10 million people by design. He wanted to change the demographic. He wanted voters under, mail-in and early voting protocols. And yet to stand there and just say that he's for the border closing was just a complete lie. I think it got people, I don't think it's going to go over. I think it's a mean old man saying, get off my grass, and I'm going to give you free stuff and print more money. I can tell you that it's the rich problem. So I think the nadir, though, Tucker, was not just the Marjorie Taylor Greene exchange, but when he said that he's getting tired of people not paying their income taxes when his son is now facing
I still gotta make dinner and start a fire. I haven't even started a fire yet.
You cannot escape the Blade King's grim touch.
I know that the left will say, well, he didn't stumble, and he was vigorous, and he was muscular, but it was the muscularity and the vigor that was frightening. Because it was exactly like we are the fire! Semi-fat, just ultra-maga. Yes. And the idea that that buffoonish display of the rotunda for a few minutes
Do you fear that?
Did you get a lot of snow?
No, barely anything, thank God.
Well, may I ask you a question about human nature? So, he didn't write this.
We're storing their cells up there!
They're not stupid. And they told easily provable lies, not just a few, as Republicans invariably do, but big ones. The Republicans are responsible for the spending and the border, et cetera, et cetera. Why do they do that? Does that work? I mean, repeat a lie often enough doesn't become real? Like, what's the thinking there?
I think they think that lying on the border and lying on the budget and lying about abortion and lying about all these things.
The best will have your head!
Confidence in the media. They feel they control social media, traditional media, new media, entertainment, and this will just reverberate and is what you see every night on the network news or MSNBC.
We have to win!
I don't think it's going to work because people have heard it before, and they look at the reality that the staples that make life possible.
Fuck you, Will.
Food,
Fuck
shelter,
you, Dolphin.
And he doesn't care. And when they look at the border, it's 8 to 10 million people who are swarming into the United States, and he doesn't care. And when you look at abroad, you know, he kept talking about Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. You want to think, okay, there's been 4 administrations. When did Putin go in? He didn't go in during Donald Trump. He went in during Bush, and he went in Obama, and he went in yours. And you talk really tough on Ukraine, but you were the one that fled in disgrace from Afghanistan. You told the country you wouldn't react if it was a minor invasion of Ukraine. You talk about giving them aid. He froze $100 million. And there was no Middle East war when Donald Trump was there. So the world fell apart when he came on the scene. He knows that. I think they're going to be desperate. I think you're absolutely right about what the contours of the next election are going to be. It's going to be Donald Trump is January 6th, beat that dead horse. It's going to be abortion. It's going to be Donald Trump lawfare. And then it's going to be confidence in 70% of the electorate not voting in person on election day. And that's all they have. Every single issue, people are sick of it. And
oh, come on. The guy starts making a good point. And then this damn thing freezes up on me. Quinkadink, of course. Of course it's just a coincidence. Happens all the time when you're trying to listen to this kind of stuff. Just a coincidence. The old quinkadink. It's like fucking internet for everyone. Motherfucker, I live in California. I can drive to where the internet was invented in 2 hours, dude. And just now, in the last year, I finally got Starlink to get internet. Because it's not available. As literally there's a fiber optic cable cutting across my property that I can't access because not enough people want it to justify opening it for me, for a customer. Yeah, so that's America. That's it's fucking so stupid. What a bunch of just bullshit. Just an absolute paid liar. Come on, man.
The TNT is the worst.
Yep. This is fucking pissing me off. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. Fucking maybe now Rumble will work. Look at cocksuckers. Well, both my devices, my phone and my tablet, are on AT&T right now. Oh, there he goes.
Trump has to campaign in 50 states. Whether we like it or not, he's going to have to unite the party, and I think he can. But they don't have any margin. a very...
Actually, hold on. I should do... check.
And they've lost 7 out of the last 8 popular presidential popular votes. So, and they don't have a good record, the Orthodox Republican establishment. So Trump's going to have to reach to every community. He's going to have to campaign, and it's going to have to bring people together. And he has no margin of error because they control the balloting in these swing states. And so it's going to be the most raucous, nastiest, loudest election in our lifetime. I'm really worried about it, but I have confidence in the American people. I think what they saw tonight was an old man raging and ranting and barking at the moon.
There's been
that's.
I would say, an
I can't believe the
unprecedented
price. I can't believe the price you got on that snow.
If Trump loses, does that abate or does it accelerate? Do more people go to jail if Biden wins or loses?
Well, if Biden wins, I think we're in trouble because we've seen what Merrick Garland did when they were afraid of being, whether they would be reelected or not. If he's reelected and he has 4 years, there's no bridles. And if he should win, he'd probably win the House. If Donald Trump wins, the thing about Donald Trump is everybody says he's out.
Store.
If you look at the FBI, the
Yeah,
CIA,
dude, that's
the DOJ, the IRS,
crazy.
They weren't vindictive. They didn't go after their political enemies. No. He may talk tough, but he's not a vindictive person. And I think he has moments after the Iowa primary and when he talks about getting even by being successful. But he's got it in him to unite the country. Biden doesn't. And I think Trump could. And I hope that he campaigns in the inner city. I hope he campaigns in places like where I live in the Central Valley. There's people that want a reason to vote for him. They're sick of Biden. And they feel that he did a good job, and all he has to do is appeal to that. And I hope he does.
I hope so too.
Was only $60
thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. 60 for a Z at 41%. That's ridiculous.
So we are honored to invite into the studio for the first
cheap
time
as I have heard it. Come on.
Alex Jones, who has a different, more holistic view of what we're seeing. The great Alex Jones, who needs no introduction, one of the most famous people in American media.
2 hits does you fine.
I can do as good as you, but I'm blessed to be here. Great crew, great people, great to be here with you.
So what, I mean, just give me your big picture assessment of that.
I gotta say, because we didn't even meet before we went on air, I was downstairs with my notes, and you basically said everything I was going to say, and so did the doctor. But you asked him a question out of the gates. You said, why do they lie so much? Do they think we're dumb, or what's going on?
Yeah.
They want to tell so many lies that you don't have time to counter them all. Because it would take 5 hours to counter all that. I mean,
I gave up in my note-taking.
Yeah, everything was a lie. And I mean, the biggest one was like, yeah, this woman got killed by illegal alien. We're trying to stop that. I want to shut down the border. He said, when I win, immediately surge the border. And then they had the big NGOs, the State Department that funds the NGOs. And all the illegals come up here. They have UN camps in South America, Central America, and Mexico.
The old snow leopard out there on the prowl.
No, it's your turn! They show up by the thousands in Biden shirts. So he's like, I'm so scared. Illegal aliens are killing you. And many of them are convicted felons, a large portion, and that he's acting dumb and saying, oh, no, I'm really sad illegal aliens are raping and murdering citizens. So just that little window there, he's playing the good cop. So all those policies, everything that the State Department, the Victoria Nuland's want, and you're absolutely right. First he comes out and says Trump is Hitler, and then he moves on to Ukraine. So it's not about the dying cities, it's not about the fentanyl, the needles, the illegal aliens everywhere, and the homeless everywhere. It's all about Ukraine because that's their big model to distract us and also launder money. So this is a very, very dangerous move for America. And your last guest was dead on. He and the whole establishment is so emblematic of a rotting, collapsing facade that knows the people have turned against it. And it's just pure rage. All the fakeness.
That is bright. I'm sure mine's out too. In fact, it's getting dark. I gotta get mine in. I'm gonna have to wrap this up.
Sitting here watching earlier, I was thinking, how do I start this? I want to say, it's like we're in a time machine looking back on the age of the dinosaurs, the Paleolithic or something, or something. I mean, we're looking back because time is compressed now. So we're here looking at a dying, corrupt, dead political empire that hates America and is trying to use our power to take over the world. And it's already gone. The world's turning against it. The Great Awakening's here. All the numbers show it, and they're trying to hang on. And so we're looking back at Jurassic Park. We're looking back at the dinosaurs, but hell, I mean, take World War II. Operation Valkyrie was the German general staff, who were Nazis and bad guys, but they were like, we're going to lose the Russians, we're going to lose the Americans, we're going to lose the Allies. A year and a half before the war ended, let's kill Hitler, but they failed. It's the same thing. The globalist program has failed, but they're thinking, well, if we just enslave people and arrest people and do all this, they'll shut up and go away. The New World Order has already failed. The question is, when Hitler knew he was going to lose, he wrote and said, if the Germans fail on the Eastern Front with the Russians, all the Germans
I got shot,
They failed and they're weak. And so he flooded the German subways. He let the whole Russian army come in. 25 million Germans died. 26 million Russians died. Most of World War II was the Russians, the Nazis killing each other. And so it's kind of that same thing. The left saying, if we're going down, we're taking you all with us. And then we have Klaus Schwab saying, you will eat bugs. We have Tyson Foods saying, we're moving in with crickets as the main batter for your chicken and everything else. I mean, they're really, Yuval Noah Harari was on late night comedy just last night.
Rumble, fucking piece of shit.
Like, yeah, the age of humans is over. And then the talk show host agreed, yeah, we need computers to decide everything, programmed by the globalists. So all they're offering is more of the same, and if we just fully reject them, which is happening, they will fall away. But they're trying to claw us down to hell with them.
It does almost seem like, I mean, flirting with nuclear war, which they are doing on multiple fronts with no plan whatsoever at all. We're going to finish the job. They never explained what the job was. That's suicidal. I mean, it's not, right? It's not going to help them.
It's psychotic.
It is psychotic. So it does feel like the leaders of the society are trying to destroy the society.
And again, I go back to Hitler, who in his own writings, this is not, in my opinion, he's like, the Germans deserve to die, so we're just going to stand here at Berlin. And they're like, sir, the Russians have entered the subways, flooded. And they go, sir, we've got 1 million Germans, families, children in the subways. He said, they deserve to die. So the left is not giving up because they're disconnected from reality. Unlike German soldiers who were fighting for an evil force, but they were at least fighting. The left live in high-rise apartments. They're disconnected from reality, and to them, it's all like a video game. And they don't realize, as you were just saying, Macron 3 weeks ago, yeah, we're going to have a national draft. We may have to send troops in to fight the Russians directly. The British Ministry of Defense, the Swedish Ministry of Defense, NATO officially. Yeah. And you've got Sean Penn saying, you know, we shouldn't have nuclear war off the table. It's survivable. What does he know about nuclear war? And so you can see it. It is a...
Sean Penn said nuclear war is survivable?
If you look it up, he's like, the quote's basically, a lot of people say we shouldn't use nuclear weapons in Ukraine or against the Russians. Well, we shouldn't take that off the table. And so that's the mindset of these people. To them, it's like a video game. And they know they're losing their power. They have this relish of control. Hollywood's collapsed. Mainstream media's collapsed. I mean, CNN's top show, 100,000 viewers. I was down there in your studio entrance watching this during before we went live. And I was writing notes, and I was like, I haven't watched this in years. And again, I was like studying. I was like an anthropologist, like studying some ancient tribe that died. And watching them all, well, he's old, but he's really smart, and he's great. And they would all like these talking points, regurgitating them. And I was like, but I get it. Because unlike an ancient tribe that died 10,000 years ago, they're still in control of nuclear weapons, so we need to study them.
So nicely put. If the hallmark of evil is deception, I think we can say that we're looking at evil. I mean, if the basis of your entire program is a lie, it's not just spinning it a little bit, it's a lie. It's the inversion of the truth.
And they know it's a lie.
And they know it's a lie. Then, I mean, isn't that evil? What's the other definition?
Well, that's really it. We have to realize evil is lying. Like in your own life. As I get older, I lied when I was a kid. I lied some when I was an adult. As I get older, lies have consequences. My whole life is now about not ever telling them.
Yes.
Like catching myself, being honest. My wife's like, you look at that girl? Yeah, I am, sorry. Instead of like, oh, no, I'm not. Because your mind gets trained to be accurate when you stop lying.
Yes.
Instead, when you lie, it's a disease. And then usually it takes you over. And these people are literally cancer. And they can find all this fodder and all these mercenaries that'll read their talking points. But as negative as it is, Tucker, you know this. What, 3-4% have taken the new booster shots? and when they rolled the first shot, it was like 70%. People are rejecting it. But there's the converse of that. The dying establishment, like when a woman tries to leave a man that's beating her, they're going to try to break our jaw in the parking lot. We're trying to get the car. They're trying to keep us from escaping. And so we're at that point. We're trying to get the station wagon with the kids. We're trying to pile them in. And, the drunk mean, is right there punching us in the face. But at the end, we're getting out of Dodge. We're leaving Egypt. We're going on to the promised land here. And it's going to take, that archetype of the promised land. It's going to take 40 years or whatever out in the wilderness, but at least we're not going to be slaves anymore. So we're in that process of emancipation right now. They're pissed. They're freaking out because they want control. Any fulfilled person is out fishing or hunting or hanging with family like you and I are. It's a beautiful sunset. We're having a great dinner, playing with our dogs, our cats, our kids. These people are not fulfilled. They don't have that. You study globalists. They're the most empty. You look at Soros or Alexander Soros. I mean, they have nothing. So they're projecting their hatred just like a Hitler or a Stalin or a Lenin on us. We've got to realize they are mentally ill, they are sick, they are cancer, they're malfunctioning. We don't hate them. We just politically cut them out and separate them from the rest of society. And we're at that point right now of the surgery. America and the world's going under the knife, and let's hope and pray that it's successful surgery. If it's not, World War III.
It's just amazing that they tried to cancel you. And what you just said, even if people don't agree with whatever, it's so much more interesting and smart than anything ever uttered on CNN or MSNBC. And I worked at those channels, so I know for a fact.
As much
as
I would like to keep doing this, I have got to start my fire up.
Of stuff you wrote yourself.
And
But it's different when you write the teleprompter. It's like I have a teleprompter sometimes too. When I have time, I'll write what I want to say, my talking points. But it's your words. It's my words. But it's
so yeah, I've got to start a fire, and I've got to get working on some dinner. But thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like. And I'll probably be jumping back on later tonight with something.
In your personal life and your professional life, what's the effect on you once you decide I'm going to try not to